Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about why I think Nickelodeon, Paramount, CBS, those companies are all owned by each other and stuff like that. Why I think the reason why Taina isn't on Paramount Plus and why there's never been a DVD release. So when it comes to Taina, this is a show I've never really ever talked about, and that's because just yesterday I watched both the unaired pilot and the televised pilot. I've never seen this show before, like never. It completely escaped my radar back in 2001. I still to this day don't even know how I missed this show. I had cable and everything. Like I was watching shows on Disney Channel like Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire, and in fact, Lizzie McGuire came out the same month and year as Taina did, just a couple of days apart. And so I really don't know how this escaped my radar. Now, one reason could be is because I was mostly a Disney Channel fan and not really a Nickelodeon fan. And when I watched stuff on Nickelodeon, it was cartoons. But still, I should have still been able to catch like a glimpse of this show. I didn't find out about this show until I think like last year or so, either when I was researching Latino shows or when I saw a video from a YouTuber talking about how Victorious ripped off Taina, in which, yes, they did. And so, like, I really want to watch this show, and I found it on Pluto TV, but it's the Spanish dub for some bizarre reason, which doesn't make any sense. But I was able to find it on YouTube, and the quality isn't that great, but hey, it's something, you know what I'm saying? And so as I was researching this show further and everything, I was kind of like, why hasn't this ever been on DVD and why isn't it on Paramount Plus? It's literally a Nickelodeon original series. You would think it would be on Paramount Plus. And so there's a couple of speculations I have as to why it's not on Paramount Plus and the whole DVD thing. Because there's some information I just found out about the show from like an actress who's on that show who has a YouTube channel whose name I cannot pronounce, and from stuff I read from the lead actress. And so, okay, when it comes to like DVD sales and stuff like that, Nickelodeon really doesn't put its live action stuff on like DVD. They will do their animated stuff, but not so much their live action. And if they do with their live action, they will put out volumes, similar to how they did True Jackson. True Jackson only had like I think one DVD release, and it's like the first 10 episodes of the first season or something like that. And my favorite episode is not on the DVD, and that pissed me off because I had like one episode to go before they put it on the DVD. And so they really don't. So they're very much like Disney Channel. They just don't put stuff out on like DVD. Really, they just want you to watch it on TV or watch it on their streaming site. Well, it's been like a million years since the show came out, and obviously it's not on streaming, or at least not the English dub and everything. And so that's one of the reasons why it's not on DVD. And also it could be because of this other reason as to why I think it's not on streaming. Money, residuals. No network truly likes to pay their stars residuals. This is one reason why Disney Channel changes things up back in their old formula of 65 episode mark, because they don't want to have to renegotiate contracts and pay their stars a higher fee. There was this one Disney Channel star who's former now. I don't know his name. I don't know what show he was on. Maybe it was Good Luck Charlie or something like that. I don't know. It was something. But it was some actor. And he literally said Disney Channel halfway through changed the title of their show and brought in new stars. And it's because they didn't want to have to pay residuals and they didn't want to have to renegotiate contracts and stuff. It's one of the reasons why SAG had to strike, because a lot of these stars aren't getting the residuals they used to get. See, Residuals have now changed. When you did a show back in, say, like the 90s or the 2000s or something like that, your contract will state you will get residuals per episode when it airs on reruns on television. However, these shows are not on TV no more. Now they're on streaming sites. So these big companies that want to save money, they're all like, well, hey, we just found a loophole in the contract. Either we can pay you less residuals than what we used to pay because it's on streaming, or we could pay you a big fat zero. And the father from Lizzie McGuire literally showed a check where he got $0 in residuals, and Lizzie McGuire is on Disney Plus, and Lizzie McGuire was the blueprint for a lot of Disney Channel shows. So you would think with people watching Lizzie McGuire, because the entire series is not out on DVD, it is in another country, but not here. There's a couple of volumes out, and only the first 22 episodes of like the first season is on DVD box set. So you would think that he would get more than just a big fat zero and stuff. And so when it comes to Taina, because this show came out in 2001 and only lasted for 2 seasons, they might not want to pay the cast residuals. Now, they did license the show to Pluto TV, but it's the Spanish dub. So that makes me stop and wonder, how do residuals work if it's a Spanish dub? I would assume that the live physical stars will get paid, and of course the dubbed actors will get paid as well, but I don't know that much about TV and dubbing, so I'm not really 100% sure. So that could be a main reason as to why Nickelodeon and Paramount like just want you to kind of forget about, like, Taina. Another reason could be is because they're holding a grudge against like the main actress. That's what I believe. See, there were 2 Taina stars now thanks to that actress who posted the pilot and everything. One was in the pilot and she got replaced with Christina Vidal and everything. And so like the reason why the original actress got replaced, because of what the Taina actress said. She said it's because the studio thought that she was too short and too old for the role, because all the teenagers were actually adults, like 18, 19, but the original actress was 23. So 2 years later, when the series came out from the pilot, she would have been like, 25 and stuff. And then if the show would have lasted for multiple seasons, she would have been close to 30. Also, she didn't have that same vibe as Christina. Christina was more fiery, more upfront, and had some sass, whereas the other one just looked like a cute, like adorable Dora the Explorer type person. And so, but when it comes to Christina, see, the stars assumed that the show would be on for like at least 5 seasons, right? But it only lasted for 2, and the ratings were extremely high. So what the heck happened? And also the show was competing with Lizzie McGuire. So what exactly happened? Because with Lizzie McGuire, they were automatically gonna get cut after 2 seasons, because that was a Disney Channel rule. But Nickelodeon is completely different. Nickelodeon likes multiple seasons. So what happened? The network gave a BS excuse, but the actress Christina gave the real excuse. She had a music deal back in the day with this music company, and her agent and stuff. And her music manager, agent type person, clashed behind the scenes with the people running the show. Because, how is she going to juggle both a music and a television career? You know what I'm saying? And so they clashed. And so then later on, her mom got involved and, to stand up for her daughter and stuff like that. And so the network's just like, bye. They're like, see ya and everything. Kind of similar to what happened to the Lizzie McGuire show. Because Lizzie McGuire is supposed to have a spinoff on ABC with the high school years. But Hilary Duff's mom wanted more money, and the network's like, nope. And so, yeah. So I believe the network is like holding a grudge against, like, the lead actress, because remember, like, Nickelodeon, they love to run for multiple seasons and they love to make money. If they can't make money on a show that was extremely popular and had extremely high ratings and everything, that had to have soured them and everything and pissed them off. So I believe they took it out on the lead actress by not giving her no DVD volume releases and not bringing the show on Paramount Plus in the English dub. Because they would have to, one, acknowledge the show exists, two, acknowledge the show was good, and three, have to, like, suck up their pride and pay an actress who they're mad at and stuff like that. Also, another major reason as to why the show is probably now on Paramount Plus is because they really don't put their older kids shows on that network unless they have a huge nostalgia, like, calling for it. Because when you look at other Nickelodeon shows like Alex Mack or The Adventures of Pete and Pete, or and shows like Shelby Woo and stuff, I think it's like The Mystery World of Shelby Woo or something like that, and it was also The Adventures of Shirley Holmes. Those shows are nowhere to be found on, like, Paramount Plus. And that's because they're much older properties. But they're older than that of Taina. But shows like Are You Afraid of Dark and Hey Dude have a huge nostalgia craving to it. Although I don't never hear nobody talk about Hey Dude. So is anybody even watching that on there? But shows that came out in, like, the early, mid, and even the late 90s are nowhere to be found on, like, Paramount Plus. So that could be also another reason as to why Taina isn't on there. But Taina came out in 2001. So that is still in that 2000 range where they still bring in those older property shows. But, like, I guess if people aren't, like, craving it or, like, talking about it that much, they're not gonna put it on their platform. Which, there are a lot of old stuff on Paramount Plus that they could kick off their platform and put some of those other Nickelodeon shows on there. Another reason why I think it's not on Paramount Plus is because when you look at Taina, it's a very urban show. The stars of the show are a combination of Latina and Black, and mostly Puerto Rican Latina. And so I think there's like one white dude in the show, or he might be Jewish or Italian, I'm not sure, because the setting is supposed to be New York, and New York is very diverse, despite what the television show Friends want you to believe and everything. And so, like, when you look at what's on Paramount Plus and you look at other Nickelodeon shows from back in the day that are, like, from like the 2000s, like iCarly and, stuff, and even True Jackson. Like, True Jackson had a Black lead, but, like, it also had like one Asian girl and everybody else were either white or Jewish. Even though the lead actress was Black, there was only one Black person on the show. And when you look at other, like, Nickelodeon shows and other stuff that's on Paramount Plus, it's a very white, like, network and everything. And you know how all these people in business suits are when they look at demographics and they look at the main audience that they target. The main audience they target is white. So when they see a show that's very urban with Latino and Black people, and the show is very urban, even has like a bit of like ghetto-ness to it and stuff like that, they're probably like, you know what, our audience might not like that. They might not connect to this different vibe and everything. And since our audience, is a certain, like, demographic, let's just stay clear of, like, this show. Tons of networks do this crap. I remember back in Star Trek, the original series, It was an uphill battle because that was made in the 60s, and they didn't want women front and center on the show, and they didn't want people of color front and center on the show. It was a huge fight between the show creator and the network, and they was able to get a little wiggle room as to what both sides want, but eventually you saw what the end product was. The black woman had to sit behind the captain and, had to always talk about how she's scared. The Asian dude barely did anything on the show. Number one got completely fired from the show because she was front and center, a female, in front of the captain, and they didn't like that and stuff. So these are the reasons why I speculate, Nickelodeon, Paramount, CBS might not release Taina anytime soon. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.